Hi, I'm Dr. David Dobson. Welcome to Conversations. Today, my guest is Dr. Muhammed Sajid. Sajid is an assistant professor of marketing at BITS Pilani, Hyderabad Campus. He earned a PhD in marketing management from Cochin University of Science and Technology. His research focuses on sustainable consumption. Today, we will discuss his study on waste disposal behavior of tourists. It's a pleasure to have you on my show, Tajid.
It's an honor to join you, David. Thank you for having me.
Tajid, tell me what led your interest in waste disposal behavior of tourists.
So, in my research journey, I focus on sustainable consumption, which is a critical field aimed at influencing consumer behaviors to minimize environmental impacts and preserve resources for future generations. So far, I have explored diverse topics, including ride-sharing behavior, then e-waste recycling behavior,
Okay.
zero waste lifestyles, and so on. Each pivotal in unraveling how consumption patterns can evolve towards sustainability. So when examining the issue of waste management, one sector that stands out, due to its significant environment impact is tourism,
Okay.
obviously. So
Okay.
specifically, the behavior of tourists regarding waste disposal is of paramount interest.
Yeah.
So the urgency of this issue is underscored by statistics indicating that although exact figures are elusive, micro studies and extrapolations suggest that tourism and hotels in India account for about 30% of the waste from an estimated 62 million tons of generated by the nation annually.
Okay.
So this substantial contribution highlights the critical need for effective waste management strategies in tourist heavy areas, not just for aesthetics but for environmental sustainability.
Okay.
And this statistical backdrop led me to scrutinize the existing literature on tourist waste disposal behaviors.
Mhm.
And a popular stream of research has concentrated on littering. That
Mhm.
means why tourists may leave their waste improperly disposed of in natural and urban landscapes. However, a distinct shift in focus was introduced by my colleague Kurosh, who is the second author in this study,
Mhm.
who emphasized the importance of not just studying littering but examining the correct use of bins by tourists. So
Yeah.
this innovative approach considers proactive waste disposal actions rather than merely reactive ones.
Okay.
And when I delved deeper, it became evident that while the literature is replete with studies exploring the motivators and drive tourists to use bins properly, there is a gap in research regarding the barriers to such behavior.
Mhm.
So this imbalance is actually problematic because understanding behavior fully, according to motivational theories, requires an examination of both motivators and barriers.
Yeah.
So without addressing the hindrances that prevent tourists from using disposal facilities correctly, interventions remain incomplete and potentially less effective.
Yeah.
Therefore, this study, if through this study, we aim to bridge this gap by focusing not only on what encourages tourists to use bins, but
Mhm.
also on what prevents them from doing so. So this
Yeah.
holistic approach is essential for designing comprehensive educational campaigns, then improving waste management infrastructure and informing policy adjustments that collectively enhance sustainable, waste disposal practices. So this is actually, as I told earlier, this is a collaborative effort involving Dr. Korosh from Edith Cowan University, Australia, then Professor Zakaria K.A. and Mukuldev Sudhira from Cochin University of Science and Technology, India, and Professor Miriam Ertz from the University of Quebec.
Okay. For your research study, you studied two popular tourist destinations in North India. Can you share why you chose those locations?
Yeah. It is because these two spots are not just any tourist destination.
Hmm.
They are major hubs for spiritual tourism in India. So both
Okay.
places attract a massive influx of both domestic and international tourists every year.
Okay.
Rishikesh is famously known as the yoga capital of the world,
Hmm.
and drawing people interested in spirituality, wellness, and yoga. Haridwar holds a deep religious significance for many as a gateway to the sacred Ganges River, then where thousands perform rituals and take part in the spiritual gatherings and all. So
Okay.
the choice was also strategic because spiritual tourism, by its nature, tends to promote more reflective behaviors about personal and environmental well-being.
Yeah.
However, despite spiritual ethos that emphasizes purity and cleanliness, these areas face significant challenges, managing challenges in managing the waste generated by the large number of visitors. For example,
Mm.
during the major festivals like Kumbh Mela, Haridwar. So
Okay.
during the Kumbh Mela, Haridwar can see millions of visitors, which leads to a substantial increase in waste, and much
Mm.
of which unfortunately ends up in the Holy River,
Mm.
affecting water quality and local ecosystems,
Mm.
obviously.
Yeah.
So, and spiritual destinations have a dichotomy. They are,
Yeah.
revered for their purity, but face pollution due to high number of visitors.
Yeah.
And this makes them perfect case studies to explore how spiritual beliefs and environmental behavior intersect,
Mm.
particularly how these beliefs might encourage or fail to encourage sustainable waste, disposal practices. And talking about waste, Haridwar generates 200 to 300 metric tons of waste daily, while Rishikesh produces 60 to 100 metric tons.
Mm.
So, also studying Rishikesh and Haridwar allowed us to delve into how spiritual beliefs impact tourist behavior regarding the specific waste disposal, and in places where the environmental stakes are visibly high. Also, it is crucial for developing targeted strategies that only not only addresses waste management but also resonate with the spiritual and cultural context of the tourists.
Mm. How did you study the waste disposal behavior of tourists in these two locations?
So actually, this study is actually a mixed method study. This
Okay.
technically it is called as a sequential exploration. And
Okay.
what we did is, like, initially we conducted a set of in-depth interviews among the tourists, and then
Okay.
formulated a research framework based on the behavioral reasoning theory, which is an extension of the theory of planned behavior.
Okay.
So so
Hmm.
so after this process, we shifted to a quantitative phase to gather more
Hmm.
structured data.
Okay.
And we organized a survey conducted by 8 research facilitators who were well trained in engaging with participants and skilled in data collection methods. So what we
Okay.
did is, like, these facilitators were split into 4 teams. Two teams
Hmm.
were positioned at major tourist spots in Rishikesh, and the other two in Haridwar.
Okay.
So we followed a systematic random sampling method for the data collection. We engaged
Hmm.
with tourists at the exit points of every
Hmm.
key sites, approaching
Hmm.
every sixth person leaving. So if someone
Wow.
declined to participate, the next sixth person, the next sixth tourist was approached.
Okay.
And this method helped us to maintain an unbiased and and systematic approach to sampling. And before
Hmm.
participating, the tourists were informed about the study's aims to ensure
Hmm.
they understood the
Hmm.
importance of
Hmm.
their input, because we are not just doing an academic work, right?
Yeah.
And to ensure the relevance and accuracy of the data or data, we employed 3 screen questions at the beginning of our survey. We need to make sure that they
Hmm.
are
Yeah.
the kind of people we are targeting.
Yeah.
And this step was actually crucial to verify that the participants fit our targeted demographic, focusing
Hmm.
our analysis on the most relevant individuals.
Hmm.
And those who didn't meet our criteria were politely excluded from the survey. And in total, we
Hmm.
collected 612 responses using pen and paper surveys.
Okay.
It was an on-site survey, not an
Hmm.
online one.
Okay. So what did you learn from your study?
So, from our research, we discovered that environmental values are fundamental to tourists' waste disposal behavior,
Hmm.
influencing their motivators,
Hmm.
barriers, and
Hmm.
overall attitude towards their
Hmm.
behavior.
Hmm.
And our study revealed that two key factors, that is, perceived sacredness and perceived environmental risk, serve as major, motivators for proper waste disposal among tourists.
Hmm.
These elements particularly resonate in spiritually significant settings like Rishikesh and Haridwar, where the sanctity of the environment is often intertwined with spiritual practices, obviously. And in addition to that, we identified significant barriers that impede effective waste disposal. And these include perceived lack of effectiveness of mass waste management efforts, the entrenched habits that resist change, and the inaccessibility to proper disposal facilities. So these barriers suggest areas where interventions could be particularly impactful in improving waste management behaviors among tourists.
Now you have done your research. So what are the practical implications of your research?
So this is the major part of our study actually.
Yeah.
So building on our findings, we propose some streamlined comprehensive strategies to enhance sustainable winning behaviors in spiritual and culturally significant regions like Rishikesh and Haridwar. So first is we propose to have infrastructure improvements. That is, it is essential to enhance the visibility and accessibility of bins. And more specifically, more bins should be installed, especially in areas with high foot traffic, and they should be sized to accommodate the volume of waste produced. Placing bins at regular intervals and in visible locations, decorated with, this is important, decorated with culturally relevant designs can encourage usage. And next is what we suggest is to have educational initiatives that like developing environmental values through education involves tailored programs that raise awareness and instill a sense of responsibility for maintaining clean and sacred environments. And so integrating these themes into school curriculums, community gatherings, and local events using local storytelling and religious teachings can foster a deeper respect for nature. And most importantly, cultural and spiritual engagement. That is very important. Like leveraging the sacredness of these sites can drive pro-environmental behaviors. Like initiatives should intertwine with the area's spiritual and cultural elements involving religious leaders and community elders in promoting environmental stewardship as a component of spiritual practice. And finally, convenience and social norms. Again, reflecting on the convenience and social norms, which means the ensuring bins are conveniently located where daily activities naturally lead people can make proper disposal and obvious choice. So encouraging community norms that support and expect sustainable disposal practices, and publicly recognizing those who adhere to these norms can establish binning as a natural and essential part of community life.
So what are some of the challenges do you think are there?
From the policymaker perspective, they have many challenges to face. Like habit, the habit itself is very problematic. Littering is a common practice in India. Littering turned into a habit. Now there are waste disposal facilities are there, but people are they're trapped in this habit. That is a major issue. Thank you.
What's next for you, Sajid?
So moving forward, we are planning to conduct an experiment in the same destinations, and like Rishikesh and Haridwar. The study we have conducted is a cross-sectional one, and now we are planning for an experiment, but it's still very early in the planning stages. But the goal is to test out some of the interventions we think might encourage more sustainable waste disposal practices based on what we have already learned. So our focus is on experiment in these locations itself, but it's a bit difficult due to many limitations, but we are still on the track. And besides that, I've got several other projects lined up in various areas of sustainable consumption. Also, I'm collaborating with Professor Medium and two others on a textbook about barriers to pro-environmental behaviors, and it's going to be an edited book, and that we are really excited to publish soon with Emerald.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Thank you for your time, Sajid, and best wishes on the work you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.